What's up, y'all? KM Best here to give you the lowdown on Marvel Snap's newest card, Namora. Namora is a 5-cost, 6-power card with an on-reveal ability that gives +5 power to each of your cards that are alone at another location. This means that, unlike Miss Marvel, she doesn't always have to be played mid. This gives her some fairly obvious synergies. As an on-reveal card, you can end up playing her alongside a Wong, or you can go for a Miss Marvel into Namora into Doctor Doom type game plan, and especially she synergizes with cards that move. These are cards that you can put in a lane. Nightcrawler, Jeff, and Nocturne are the primary examples, and you can then leave them in that lane alone, Namora them up. Suddenly your Nightcrawler is 7 power, your Jeff is 8, and your Nocturne is 10. She is effectively, in these strategies, a sort of vision factory. This is a sort of straightforwardly good thing to do. It is genuinely powerful. It does come at some sort of deck building cost, and she is a little bit clunky. The baseline here is a 516 in terms of stats. Being a 516 is really good, but as you'll see, there is kind of a lot working against her, and the fact that the OTA has been allegedly leaked makes me worried for what her potential future could be. So let's talk about what you can run her in, and then what might change after the leaked OTA, assuming all of that is correct, because it should factor into your decision to get this card, as she is so contextually a card that you have to think about, because so much of what she does is so fragile. Weak to Leech, weak to White Widow. If less of that stuff is around, she's in a better spot. What could change with the OTA will impact that. This was, I think, kind of everyone's first idea for what to do with this card. The idea here is that the 12th best card in basically all of these decks is a 5-drop like Claw or something like that, and that you can get a competitive advantage in the Leech Blink Mirror. Although your opponent will have the ability to leech the Namora, you can pull it out of your deck, get an even better version of Claw effectively. Like, her downside typically is not that bad, her upside is very high. This, for me, did run into some problems, unfortunately. Problem number 1 is that, yes, Leech is still very prominent. Problem number 2 is that it's a little bit harder to set up than you actually think that it is. And problem number 3 is compounding that. White Widow is one of the absolute most played cards in the game right now, and if you're seeing a lot of White Widow, you're going to run into a lot of trouble with your Namora. This is to say nothing of the other Clog decks, right? There are plenty of decks running Goblins and Debris, looking to Professor X into Cannonball. Those are also quite good against you. In addition, Bounce decks and even some Noki decks, and even some Loki decks, are running things along the lines of US Agent, which this deck struggles mightily into. Especially since, in service of building towards being a Namora deck, we invested in this Doctor Doom as well. That is a card that is deeply weak to US Agent. It is dangerous to have a Doctor Doom and have that be the thing you're relying on in this current metagame due to US Agent and White Widow. And so the way this deck building pushes us, it sort of makes me feel like maybe she isn't actually worth investing in. My thought process about this deck specifically is she is at best a mild upgrade. Maybe even a downgrade over, say, doing the Domino Darkhawk stuff, if you can fit that in. I do not feel confident that this card is a serious upgrade in this archetype that is worth you spending money at the moment. Here's the thing, though. One of the things that happened in the leaked OTA, and I have reason to believe that it might be real, otherwise I wouldn't really be talking about leaks, but the way this leaked OTA was discovered was by simply changing the URL of what we believe to be Marvel Snap's news feed to have the date of the OTA in it. So that leak seems like about as trustworthy of any leak as I've ever seen. Obviously, I do not know for sure if it is real or not, but last time this happened, all the things that were on the leak actually ended up happening. So I'm going to assume that based on this, this is actually a thing that's happening. Preamble over. Leech is going to a 5/5 potentially. And if that happens, I'm worried about this archetype, period, right? I'm very worried about what this archetype can reasonably do in the absence of a really good 4 to blink into. It's an interesting situation, I think, that is a little bit dangerous for a deck that is so reliant on this 4, 5, 6 thing to lose a good 4 out of it. And I think that is an interesting and problematic situation for Namora, because not only is she probably not worth the upgrade now, but this is her easiest and most successful home. For me, at least, I had more success with this than anything else that I played her in. And if that is her most successful home and it goes away, what does that leave us with? I think it leaves us with something like this. At the time of recording, if you look on Untapped, this is the version of this deck with the highest win rate in top 10% Infinite. I played it a little bit. It does some genuinely solid things, but it did not feel like anything special. And, you know, some of that is that I was running into people leeching you, and you're kind of an on-reveal deck, and if you get leeched as an on-reveal deck, you feel terrible, right? So the reason I bring this deck up right now is to say that, yes, one home for Namora might get got, but there might be another home for Namora here. I think this deck, if it does have the legs to actually be a part of the metagame, will run into some issues, though. Those issues are mostly with point output. This is a deck that doesn't really have a lot of interaction. It effectively plays out like a combo deck. When a deck like this becomes the metagame baseline, the way to beat it is typically just playing a combo deck that goes bigger, right? And that is just kind of a bit of an easy thing to do against this deck, to the point that I do wonder if it really has the legs to succeed on a fully realized level. Yes, it is actually super cool to do the Namora stuff that you can do with this deck. Like, you can get Wong, Namora, Odin. You can do that. It's pretty cool, but you are effectively sacrificing interaction. You do not have interaction to deal with other people's trying to deal with you. And when you sacrifice interaction in that way, I feel like it almost sometimes doesn't matter how many points you can put out, because someone else is going to be able to do the things that stop you, whether that's blocking off your Wong lane, moving it around with Magneto. All of what you're doing is very face up, and all of what your opponent is doing is not known to you. And this deck, I think, is interesting and intriguing, and I will try to revisit it after the potential nerf to Leech. But I don't think it's enough to carry this card on its own. And frankly, I'm not even really sure that she's as good as you would think in this deck. Finally, I talked to Evazord, who had a fairly similar opinion to me about Namora. He said this was the best Namora deck he played. It felt okay. I am not overwhelmingly enthused by it. There are some cool things you can do with Namora in a move shell right now, and I think this deck might have a few more legs after the nerf to Leech, but right now, being a Shang-Chi deck doesn't feel great. Being a Namora deck doesn't feel great. I have definitely had games with this deck where I got leeched on 4. I had a Shang-Chi and a Namora in my hand. I basically instantly lost the game because then they blinked the Leech, and it was just like, oh, I can't compete with that on power, and I'm too reliant on reveals to actually be real. And so when you have a situation like that, where you are a deck that feels like maybe 45% into the dominant deck that you're kind of seeing everywhere, I don't really consider that a worthwhile home for Namora. So all of this is to say there are things this card does. It is genuinely pretty good, but I don't think we're in a metagame where it makes a ton of sense right now. And just gut check here, I'm not sure nerfing Leech is gonna make it a metagame where this card makes sense either. So, what do I recommend you do with this card? I will tell you right now, I think nobody watching this video should purchase Namora right now. None of you. And the reason I say that is very straightforward. I'm kind of like just getting this as a free roll here. They're going to do an OTA on Thursday, and it looks like it's going to be incredibly impactful, and you're going to have to figure out a whole new metagame, right? So it does not bode well currently for Namora. I do not have a lot of faith in this card right now, but a whole new context is coming in on Thursday. I highly recommend that you wait and sit down and stop worrying about whether you need to buy this card now, and worry about that on like Saturday or Sunday instead, right? Remember, they front-loaded the gold this time. I don't even know if you're getting much out of buying her on the weekend missions. Maybe you can wait until Tuesday, right? Like, this is not a card that looks good to me right now. This is not a card that seems very good to me. This is a card that seems like, at best, a sort of mild side grade / upgrade in the Blink decks, which I do not know if they are going to exist after this OTA. Straight up. And so if the best thing this card is an upgrade in a deck, I don't know if it's going to be real after the OTA. That is a hard thing for me to recommend. I'm going to put some gameplay on the back end of this. I expect you'll see a decent amount of just not playing Namora, because one of the things that really sort of seemed to happen when I was playing this is like, when I was playing the Blink decks, it was just like, why would I ever play Namora here when I could do the Blink thing instead? The Blink thing was just always better. And so I almost never actually got good stuff out of her. It was very much just like, oh, this is my like plan C. So I am going to put some gameplay on there. It was like okay, right? Like it was a deck that I climbed like 50 SP with. There's nothing wrong with that. But it does sort of strike me as simultaneously not necessarily worth buying in that archetype, and I'm worried that archetype won't exist on Thursday. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for making it this far in the video. Let's jump into the gameplay. Remember, like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. We just hit 21,000 subscribers, which is awesome. I'm so excited for that. Thank you so much. As always, I've been KM Best. You've been phenomenal, and I will see you in the next one. I'm sorry I've been so tilty recently, chat. How I've been mad as fuck. I don't really know why. I've just been doing a lot of like forcing myself to play longer hours, and I think it's starting to wear on me in a way I'm not super happy with. Celtics, that's not why I'm mad as fuck. They're annoying, but like it's fine. Maybe I'll draw a Jubilee or some shit. Actually, it's a lot of not great shit on a Jubilee in there. I don't think I'm ever getting this Asgard. The Reddit fame? Now, see, I don't enjoy not winning is the thing. Yeah, we're not ever really winning Asgard, I think. Oh, US agent. Wow. Definitely not winning Asgard. I don't think what's-her-face here ever wins. But if they move the Jeff out here, do we have a real shot at disabling the US agent? Like, if they move Nocturne and Jeff out, or Jeff, we actually have a real shot at disabling the US agent here, right? Actually, we have a real shot anyway, right? Let's go, dude! Let's go, dude! Oh, baby. The original and the Apex. Dude, these draws. World bounce. I want to tell you guys something. Chat, I do not find it fun to talk about what will be good in the future. I don't enjoy it. It's not fun for me. I find it fun to talk about what's good now. That's kind of it. I don't give a shit what will or will not be good later. That's not my bag. I don't care. I will think about that shit in 2 days. Or higher skill expression in Magic. I wouldn't really say necessarily, no. At some other point in time, that will be a thing I think about. It is not a thing I think about right now. Card is so fucking wild, man. Do they have a Spectrum? And if so, can we ever beat if they just play that on the right? They just play Spectrum right. Can we ever win? I don't think so. Sorry, Spectrum left. That's what I meant. We can't beat that. We can beat every other Spectrum. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, wait a minute. Sense here. Like, we're just gonna get shit on by Loki here. Okay, they definitely unmuted people. They definitely unmuted people. It's pissing me off. Give me my mutes back, second dinner. I like, there's definitely unmuted people now. Shaw? I think he runs, what's the word? The card. You know the card. Shadow King. I think he runs Shadow King. I feel like I'm dead. Agent is shitting on this, yeah. Oh well. Yikes. He ends up feeling very sad. I think El Jefe is actually what's going on in Krakoa here. Not my favorite thing in the world, but I already have 5-6 here. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. I mean, we got the vision, right? Yeah, kill left for Krakoa value. That's what I arrived at. Holy fuck. Can he beat me? I guess Hellfire Club says no, right? Hellfire Club says no way. Can't play the kitty here. Would have to be something else. I don't think he plays Shang, but he might. Shadow King something? Shadow King Luke Cage? Still my biggest guy. Shadow King Luke Cage is... Wow, wait. Maybe I might actually die here. I don't know. We'll find out. Shadow King... 2, 3... What? That's phenomenal. I failed to account for the potential blob. This one is actually working, but I did have another one. I guess I have no argument. That's what I fucking thought. Asking for a win trade? You bet your ass. That is exactly what's happening. Why would you fill it? Bounce? Have you ever tried Pokemon TCG? I have not. Ooh. Interesting. Those are some cards. Like, I played it one time with my girlfriend, basically. That's about it. Blarval? Random Blarval? Oh my god. The random Blarval goes insane here. I don't think I can win. Unless I make a very hard read. There are wins here. Nocturne Red and then Doom loses to them moving Jeff to Monster Island. This Jeff can move, right? Wait, can this Jeff move? Why is mine up and theirs isn't? I thought that Jeff was played there. Okay, I thought it could. I can't believe we actually pulled off the read here. That is nuts. I cannot believe it. We were like, let's play around that, right? The shit I could do along those lines. But, that was kind of where my head was at in terms of the rest of this. What was Woody playing? I literally already forgot. No key. All right. I feel like those decks have been cutting Mobius, but what do I know? I feel like this is the move, and I feel like I'm supposed to snap, but I don't actually know. Dude, US Agent is so busted. What the fuck? We just died to the card US Agent, and that's it. This card is so good. Can he cover both angles here? I wonder. Let's say I hope not. We're gonna say Stormbreaker's a fake card. I feel like I'm so losing this. I got away with it! I got away with it! Ah! Oh joy. It would kill vision? Okay, thank you. They've changed that shit so many fucking times. I love not drawing 2-drops, chat. Don't you? Okay, that's a bit late for that 2-drop, I suppose. Sure. Boy, there are some good hits there. Fucking drew the vision, though. Brutal. I don't know how many cards they can make me draw, but it better be some number. Wasn't enough. Damn, I missed Domino. Damn, I missed Domino. I don't want to, like, I'm just so afraid that I'll fuck up my own blink here. Jesus. I guess they leave on that for reasons I don't understand.